Apparently, Mock Draft Monday is a thing. I wasn't aware of this. I was waiting until after the Vikings lose tonight to be able to do that. Now, if that doesn't happen, don't hold me. That's not what this channel's about. We are a mock draft type of channel. All Bears things covered. Appreciate you guys who are new tuning in. Try to run through this one as quick as possible, but there are some differences I'm going to make when I get to my individual draft picks. Some people have said to me they like to listen on the way to work. They want more info on the players. I'm actually going to read some of the scouting report on these guys. If you guys don't like that, skip to the next draft pick or skip to the end. Not holding anybody to listening to the whole thing, but I am going to read a lot of stuff about the individual draft picks. We're not going to go through the entire offseason. I will hit the highlights, but this one is focused on one particular aspect. When I bring you guys a mock draft, I want to bring an angle that could happen, but also makes you think a little bit more. And there's one thing at the very top of the draft that everyone's talking about, and that's what if the best player available falls to us? Because a lot of people, there's two different segments. There's the we have to take an offensive lineman no matter what. No matter what, offensive lineman. Well, I guess there's three segments. The next one would be we need to take trenches no matter what. And then the next segment is best player available. Now, some people believe that's Ashton Genty. This is going to fall on that same line. I don't believe that. I'm putting my own mock board together, my own draft board together for the first time, 1 through 300. All 300 players in order of what I think the best player in this draft would be. It's a lot of work. That won't be ready till April. I'm working on it. As I go through these positional overviews, you guys will see that I'm pointing out some things on the players that I like and don't like. Well, at the very top of this draft is a player that everyone thinks the Jaguars is going to take. And that's Will Johnson, cornerback from Michigan. Now, this is inspired, we'll say, from Carl. We had some conversations, and Carl said, what if he fell there? And then I posted on YouTube, or on Twitter, I posted on there, if this happened, because it did come across on one of my mock drafts. So I'm actually going to post that mock draft that I did. Now, I know some players don't. The mock drafts I've advocated on here, your mock drafts aren't going to be completely accurate, but nobody knows what's going to happen in the mock drafts. So if Will Johnson falls to us at 10, cornerback, not one of our needs right now, but clearly a future need as all these defensive back positions are coming to an end here in the next year or two. And to me, there are probably between 12 and 15 true blue chip players in this draft. And that's why I said I'd like to trade down just a little bit, see what happens. But Will Johnson is number 6 on my big board overall. And to me, he's the best corner. Travis Hunter's probably going to get selected first because it's neck and neck between him and Will Johnson. Will Johnson was injured this year. Travis Hunter plays both offense and defense, so most think Travis Hunter will be taken first. Most think the Jaguars are going to take Will Johnson. Well, if the Jaguars go offensive line or defensive line, because there's so many good players, Mason Graham, Abdul Carter, if someone falls to them there, which very well could, they could be tempted to take defensive line first. If that happens, we're the best shot to draft Will Johnson. So that's the idea of this mock draft. You'll see. Does Ryan Poles have the balls to do it, though? Does he have the balls to take best player available? And I really hope that he would. So running through this quick, I'm not going to change. Ryan Bates, you're cut. Gerald Everett, you're cut. Those who haven't listened to my channel, there's reasons behind all that. You can listen to other prior drafts. It's going to save us $9.5 million towards our salary cap. Give us $96,450,000. I'm going to go more conservative. I'm only going to be signing the backups or restricted free agents on this one. I know Jack Sanborn is a starter, but he's going to be a restricted free agent. We're going to get him back for $4.5 million a year. Some think it might be more. Some think it might be less. So these are the ones at the bottom here that we're going to retain. Coleman Shelton on a 2-year, $9 million deal. He should be a backup, though, if we draft a center as well, which I think we should. Maybe he could start. It would depend on what happens there. Matt Pryor, a backup deal, 1 year, $3 million. Bill Murray, earnings restricted free agent minimum. Jalen Jones and Josh Blackwell, restricted free agents, $1.5 million apiece. All right, Jack Sanborn. So altogether, those re-signings are only going to cost us $16 million. Draft picks and practice squad are going to be around $11.5. So we're going to run into free agency here with $68,920,000. So that's right close to $70 million. That only happens if we cut these two guys, though. And I really hope Ryan Poles isn't that emotionally attached because, he liked Ryan Bates. And, he just signed Gerald Everett last year. I hope they can separate the two and say what's best for this ball club. All right, so right into free agency, we are going to hit home runs this time. We're going to take best players at each position. We're going to say, screw it. We're going to throw enough money at them. Some people think Milton Williams is going to get more money than this. Over the cap has him at $6.4 million. Last time I projected us taking him for $8 million. He'll have some people coming after him. Some weakness on his tackling. There are some weaknesses in his game, but he's probably the highest rated defensive interior in a weak defensive interior free agency. So we're going to go ahead and take him because we got to shore up both of our trenches. So $9.5 million average value, which I think is still a good deal for him. 100%. Next up, the one everybody wants, and we're going to throw enough money at him. Screw what could happen. I understand. The Chiefs are probably going to re-sign him. I get that. They're probably going to restructure contracts, make it happen, but I like Trey Smith so much. And at right guard, he would be an absolute beast for us. $23 million annual value beats the record for a guard by $3 million a year. And if you're throwing that much money at someone 5 years and you guarantee almost all of it, I think we can get him to come. It's just whether or not the Chiefs will restructure contracts and allow him to get to March 13th. If he doesn't, Bears, throw money at him. Make it happen. So Trey Smith will be my number 2. Number 3, you guys saw this last time. Nothing changed on this one. I like the prospect of taking Najee Harris. He's a big back. He's a workhorse back. We can still draft someone in this deep class. Get someone in the 6th, 7th round. There's so many good running backs. It does not hurt to have a deep running back room. It's not a problem. Najee Harris, 6'1", 242. We're going to get him for $8 million average value. Josh Palmer, same thing as last time. I really like him as a wide receiver 3. I think it's a value contract to sign, and I think he will be on the market. He will be available for the Bears or someone to go after him. So 2 years, $13 million is what I'm going to go after there. So here's how it all cracks down when you look at after free agency. We got some home runs in free agency there. Somehow I skipped over Juwan Johnson. So Juwan Johnson, another receiving tight end. Yes, I know we need a blocking tight end. We're going to hit that in the draft. So receiving tight end, 1 year, $6.5 million. He was getting paid $6 million the last 3 years. Had a couple issues with his pass blocking and fumbling this year, so I think he's on a prove-it contract. Still young enough, 28 years. He could do a 1-year deal and then sign with someone for a bigger contract, or the Bears sign him for longer if he has a breakout year. So Juwan Johnson was the other one. All right, so after that, after the re-signings, after the draft picks, practice squad allocation, after free agency of $53,500,000, because we got some big names in free agency, we're left with $15 million. We're going to extend Kyler Gordon. We're going to extend Spider-Man, which I proposed last time. We could throw more at him than this one. We're going to be 4-year, $46 million, which breaks the record for a nickelback. I put $4 million here, put $2 million here. Say we give him $4 million extra this year, so it's $42 million over 4 years. Whatever. They can structure that contract however you want. Anyway, he slices it. He's going to be the highest paid nickel, and he's worth it for the Bears. We're going to do that. And then our buffer is going to be somewhere around $10 to $15 million even after that amazing free agency class. So let's jump right into our draft. All right, first, here's the little post I had from Twitter. I put the hypothetical out there, and you can see the poll from the bottom. Not many. I haven't let it go long enough. Only 28 votes on Twitter. I'd probably get more votes if I did it on YouTube here, but Will Johnson not getting the lion's share there, 28%. Kelvin Banks, still everyone's favorite at 46%. And I have Kelvin Banks around 12th to 13th on my big board, and I do not have him as a blue chipper. So I don't think that he is a must-take for the Bears. James Pierce, I do have right up there, though, 17% for everybody. But anyways, Bears pick 10th. I'm not doing the hypothetical with Ian Cunningham getting hired away and us getting the comp picks. If we do, great. We get another draft pick out of this. But I'm not doing that for this video. I'm going to go ahead and leave Ian Cunningham off. And I am going to do one trade down. You see right there between 39 and 41. With those two picks back-to-back, I think that's a prime spot for the Bears to take their two favorites there at 10, 39. Unless someone they really love falls at 41. Trade back from 41 into the 50s and generate some more draft value, a third rounder, maybe a 7th rounder. In fact, I'm going to focus on this video about trading and getting some extra 7th round or 6th round capital, because your 6th and 7th rounders, in my opinion, they're flyers. These are basically undrafted free agents that are the top of the undrafted free agent class, where you're taking a throw at the dartboard and you're trying to find the best guy and develop them. So I'm going to try to hit 4 or 5 of those in this video, and we'll go from there. All right, so those who want to fast forward this to the NCL, the picks I made. But I am going to do, for those who have said, I'm going to take me off. For those who have said they want a little bit more content, a little bit more breakdown, because they don't want to look this stuff up themselves, I'm going to read a little bit here. Will Johnson, to me, is a true blue chipper. And if we could get him at 10th overall, I would absolutely do it, even with our need on the trenches, guys. We can fill those other things through free agency, through later in the draft. I believe Will Johnson is that type of guy you don't pass up on. Johnson & Johnson, Jalen Johnson, Will Johnson on the other side, they would be the best duo in the entire league, in my opinion. So this is from NFL Draft Buzz, his draft profile, his bio. They say he's a legacy turned legend. That's the Will Johnson story at Michigan. Following his father Deion's footsteps to Ann Arbor, Johnson didn't just live up to the family name. He carved out his own legacy. A 5-star recruit out of Grosse Pointe South, Johnson hit the ground running as the first 4-year starter in high school's history before making an immediate impact on the Wolverines. His freshman campaign earned him All-American honors, but it was his sophomore season where he truly emerged as an elite defender, earning first-team All-American honors and powering Michigan's championship run as the defensive MVP of their national title victory. All right, so I'm not going to read all of it, but he comes from bloodline. I mean, he's an athlete, born from an athlete. His scouting report strengths. He's a rare blend of size and fluidity, maintains his back pedal integrity against shifting receivers while using his 6'2 frame to bully smaller wideouts at the line. Elite football IQ shows up in zone coverage, anticipates route combinations, and jumps underneath throws with veteran savvy beyond his years. Nasty competitive streak in press coverage, uses his length to disrupt timing and shows some real dog when fighting through blocks. Exceptional ball skills translated to the game-changing plays, shows up huge and biggest movements with pick 6 against USC and championship game interception. Patient technician in man coverage who trusts his technique, rarely bites on double moves and stays square through stem phase of routes. Brings running back physicality to tackling, and he does. He hits hard. Steps downhill with bad intentions and consistently wraps up with proper form. Special awareness near boundary, uses sideline as extra defender, and shows natural feel for leveraging receivers out of bounds. Scheme versatile difference maker who thrived in both press man and zone looks, projects as a day one starter in any defensive system. That's what you want to be looking for in your blue chip guy. So a scouting report summary, they say, in a passing league starved for a shutdown corner, Johnson has the tools to be a franchise cornerstone. His scheme versatility combined with the alpha mentality he brings to the position will have defensive coordinators salivating. While he may need some technical refinement early in his NFL career, Johnson projects as an immediate impact starter with Pro Bowl upside by year 2. He's a top 10 talent in this class who should hear his name called early on day 1. All right, long and short of it, Will Johnson is absolutely going to be a star. There's few guys you question will be a star in the league. Mason Graham, one of those. Will Johnson, one of those. Abdul Carter, one of those. So if you can snag Will Johnson, you snag him. 100%. Now, I won't read the draft profile on all these guys, but I wanted you guys to hear the legacy with him at Michigan. I'm going to read the strengths and the summary here on the rest of these guys, and this is the exact draft I did on my mock draft. I realize some guys don't last this long. Some guys go earlier than this. Some guys go later than this. I picked guys that I think would be key to make this a mock draft that was valuable. So into number 2, I'm going to leave that there. You can pause it if you want to, so you can read his profile if you want to. One important thing here with Tyler Booker, as you know, we took Trey Smith in free agency, right guard. Right now, Tyler Booker is a left guard. He can play both right and left guard. So if we can't get Trey Smith and we still re-sign Tevin Jenkins, which I don't hate. You guys know I don't hate that. If we do re-sign Tev, Booker has played both right guard and left guard. Left guard is obviously a little more important from the blind side, and he would be important to help with Braxton Jones too. Trey Smith is more important. What do we do? Getting the best 5 guys lined up is the most important thing. So we're going to draft guys on the offensive line, the defensive line. Now that we took a cornerback, we are going to focus hard on the offensive and defensive lines the rest of this draft, and we're going to suck some value out of this thing. And I like some of these big guards. So again, another big-bodied, big-sized guy. That's part of why we re-signed Matt Pryor as well. Exceptional size and frame at 6'5" and 335, providing a formidable presence in the interior line. Demonstrates impressive power at the point of attack, consistently moving defenders off the line of scrimmage. Quick feet for his size, allowing him to pull effectively and reach the second level with ease. That's important for the Bears to get their running game back. Showcases excellent hand placement and punch timing, neutralizing pass rushers effectively. Displays a high football IQ, recognizing and picking up stunts and blitzes with consistency. Versatility to play both guard positions, adding value to the NFL teams looking for flexible linemen. Strong anchor and pass protection, rarely giving ground against bull rushes, and finishes blocking with tenacity, consistently looking to pancake defenders and play through the whistle. He sounds like the perfect Bear to me. It's just a matter of whether he lasts to number 39. In this mock draft he did, and honestly, there are enough value guys in this draft. He could last at 39. If he does, he's who I'll be pulling for. I just don't know if he will last that long. So the scouting report summary, Booker's blend of size, power, and athleticism make him an intriguing prospect for NFL teams. His experience in Alabama's pro-style offense should ease his transition to the next level, where he projects as a potential day one starter at guard. Booker's skill set is particularly well-suited for power running schemes, where his ability to generate movement at the line of scrimmage can be fully utilized. While he may need some refinement in his technique, particularly in pass protection against elite NFL interior rushers, Booker's upside is undeniable. His combination of physical tools and football intelligence suggests he could develop into a cornerstone offensive lineman. Teams looking for a reliable, durable guard with a potential to dominate in the run game will find Booker an attractive option in the draft. As he continues to develop, Booker has the potential to become a Pro Bowl caliber guard in the NFL. His experience against top-tier SEC competition and his rapid improvement trajectory bode well for his ability to adapt and excel at the pro level. My worry with him is that he's going to ball out at the combine, and he's only going to go higher on the draft boards. Right now, he is projected as an early second-rounder to mid-second-rounder. With your draft boards, I mean, I don't want to harp on the mock drafts being reliable, but I do see him right up there at the top of the second round, so it's just a matter of whether or not he survives for the Bears to draft him, but I would love the Bears to draft him at 39. I'd love them to focus on him. So, like I said, this is following my draft board, and no, there's no way the Bears will ever, ever, ever trade with the Packers, right? Right? Well, in this scenario, we make them pay. I saw this one pop up. I said, no way, we never trade with the Packers. Not going to happen, but they're going to give us 55, a third rounder, and 2 seventh round, and that's exactly what I wanted to show in this draft, is how you can take some of these flyers in the 6th and 7th rounds. So I went ahead and accepted this, 2 sevenths and a future 6, and this is overpaying by about 30%. And if you really want a guy, that's what you're going to overpay, 30 to 40%. And that's what the Packers ended up paying us. So I hate trading with the Packers, but in this scenario, we're going to go ahead and do it so that we can be able to show some value in this one and trade back and get a third rounder in this one as well. And this might be one that I'm reaching a little bit for. So like I said, your mock drafts won't be completely accurate. And no, I don't love Jordan Burch to where we have to take him at 55, but I think he'd last till 73. Now, if you're looking at your mock boards, they're going to say he's going to go anywhere from the 3rd to the 4th round, maybe even later. I like Jordan Burch for his size and athleticism. They have him as an edge rusher. He is very much a DeMarcus Walker type of player that can split between the two. He's the right size and weight for that, and he's very athletic as well. 6'6", 295 pounds. Some places have him listed at 300, so easily could be an interior defensive lineman. And I think the Bears should use him that way, put him out on edge if they need to because he's so quick too, but his 40 time is 4.68. So he's an absolute freak athlete. So let me read here his strengths. A freakish athleticism for his size, clocking nearly 21 miles per hour on GPS despite weighing close to 300 pounds. Explosive lower body strength can make a 34-inch vertical jump and a 685-pound back squat. Exceptional run defender with the power to set a hard edge and maintain outside leverage against offensive tackles. Possesses a dense, well-proportioned frame that allows him to overwhelm blockers at the point of attack. Displays impressive burst off the snap, allowing him to quickly penetrate gaps and disrupt plays in the backfield. Utilizes powerful hands to shock and lock out blockers, creating a separation to shed and pursue ball carriers. Versatile defender capable of lining up in multiple techniques from the traditional 4-3 end to a stand-up edge rusher. Excels on stunts and twists using his rare combination of size and speed to overwhelm interior linemen. Now his summary. Burch boasts a prototypical NFL frame with elite athletic traits, flashing the ability to be a disruptive force on the edge. His closing speed and burst off the snap are evident, but his bend and hand usage haven't consistently matched his physical tools. The tape shows a player who can set a strong edge and stack and shed effectively against the run. As a pass blocker, Burch's production hasn't matched his potential. He relies heavily on bull rushes and power moves, lacking a diverse arsenal of counters. And this is the only reason he's not like your Darius Robinson that went in the first round last year when I was hyping him up from the 4th round to the 1st round. His first step is explosive, but he struggles to flatten around the arc and finish plays in the backfield. Despite his athletic testing numbers, Burch's pad level and leverage are inconsistent, limiting his ability to consistently win one-on-one matchups, which is why you might see him move more to the interior because his run defense numbers are absolutely off the charts. He's a freakish athlete, and he doesn't miss many tackles at all. At the next level, Burch profiles as a developmental edge defender with the physical tools to become an impact player. His immediate value lies in early downs as a run stopper with the upside to grow into an every down role. Coaching staffs will need to focus on refining his pass rush plan and teaching him to use his hands more effectively to disengage from blockers. If he can translate to athletic gifts to more consistency on-field production, Burch has the potential to outform his draft slot. All right, with our first third rounder, because we got 2, we're going to take a more traditional edge now if we need to move Burch into defensive tackle like we do with DeMarcus Walker. Now we have options, and Donovan Ieraku is he's probably more fit to be in a 3-4 system, not as much with his knuckles in the grass. I see him very much like a more upgraded Austin Booker, that they're going to play the both same style with the same weight, but very quick and very bendy. Probably not as lengthy as Austin Booker, A little bit more refined on his technique than Booker, but it'd be fun to have them developing together. So I like the idea of bringing another edge. So his strength, exceptional bend and ankle flexion when rushing the passer, consistently showing the ability to maintain speed while cornering around offensive tackles. Disciplined edge setter in the run game who maintains gap integrity and rarely bites on misdirection or zone and read plays. Demonstrates above-average change of direction skills and lateral agility when pursuing ball carriers in space. Versatile defender capable of playing multiple techniques, including traditional 4-3 defensive end and stand-up outside linebacker 3-4 schemes. Shows natural instinct as a pass rusher with the ability to counter inside when tackles overset to the outside. Impressive motor and effort level on every snap, consistently pursuing plays from the backside. Reliable tackler who breaks down well in space and rarely misses when he gets his hands on a ball carrier. Experience dropping into coverage on zone blitzes added to his scheme versatility at the next level. So, I mean, he could effectively end up as a linebacker too if things work out on the line. So I just like the versatility of him. I think he's a good player to pick because of his motor, because of what you see on tape. His size shouldn't scare you when you watch him on tape is what I'm going to say about Donovan Ieraku. All right, the scouting report summary. The high-level movement skills and flexibility show up repeatedly on tape, but the lack of sand in the pants and limited power at the point of attack restrict his deployment to obvious passing downs early in his NFL career. The flashes of speed to power potential hint at an untapped upside once his anchor develops. Natural leverage and bend skills translate immediately to third down pass rush packages when he can pin his ears back and attack upfield. Very much like Booker and some of these other guys that are just specialists, but he can tackle very well. The scheme versatility pops when studying his film, comfortable playing both as a hand-in-the-dirt end or stand-up rusher. Though his frame suggests a better fit at outside linebacker, meaning 3-4, in an odd front at the next level. The limited pass rush arsenal and inconsistent hand usage needs significant development before he can be trusted as more than a designated pass rusher. The athletic testing and production on profile point to a day 2 selection who can contribute 15 to 20 snaps per game as a rookie while adding special team value. The high-end play strength limitations may prevent him from developing into an every-down player, but his ability to bend the edge and close in space will earn him a role as a productive sub-package rusher in the right system. All right, so there's our third-round first pick, our own pick, and now with the one we picked up from the Packers, I've got to hit center here. Now, they still had Jake Majors available, but I was trying to be realistic. I think Jared Wilson and Jake Majors will both go in the second, early third round. The only one I think will be available in this position is Seth McLaughlin. So I took Seth McLaughlin, even though he's the more experienced starter. He started all 4 years. There's a little less strength in his game than the other two, but I do like him as the third best center, and it's really these three, and then really after that it's developmental. So I'm taking Seth McLaughlin here, even though Jake Majors was on the board. I wanted to be fairly realistic. So his strengths. Exceptional football IQ, consistently identifies and communicates blitz packages and stunts on the offensive line. He's constantly talked about it being very high IQ and very intelligent. So I like that about him as well. Quick processor from the snap engagement, seamlessly transitions in both run and pass blocking scenarios, displays impressive short area quickness, effectively reaching second level and executing pull blocks. Demonstrates strong recovery skills in pass protection, maintaining position against diverse rush angles. Exhibits a Fisher's mentality, consistently fights to maintain leverage and seal defenders away from the play. Versatile scheme fit, excels in gap power concepts while showing aptitude for zone blocking principles. Possesses the flexibility and agility to adjust hand placement mid-block, countering defenders' moves. That'll be very important in the NFL level. High effort player who sustains blocks through the whistle and looks for work downfield. All right, so his summary, McLaughlin's high football IQ and ability to process erotic blitz packages will be coveted by NFL teams. His experience as a pivot and his lateral quickness suggests scheme versatility, potentially allowing him to kick out to ground in a pitch. This position flex could be a game changer for teams looking to solidify their interior trench option depth. His acumen in both power and gap and zone concepts make him scheme diverse. McLaughlin's ability to reach and run and pull in space adds another wrinkle to his toolkit, expanding his fit across multiple offensive philosophies. However, cleaning up his shotgun snaps and refining his hand-fighting technique are must-dos to maximize his ceiling at the next level. McLaughlin's cerebral approach, coupled with his nasty streak and positional versatility, provides the framework for a positional plug-and-play NFL starter. His track record of consistently winning in the trenches against SEC competition make him an intriguing day 2 target. McLaughlin's academic pedigree and quick study of complex blocking schemes indicate he'll be able to digest NFL playbooks swiftly, potentially allowing him to contribute from day one in the league. To me, it's imperative that we draft a rookie center in this class, and it needs to be one of the top 3. I'd really like to be top 2, so maybe I should have switched the order of 72 and 88 around. Maybe I should have taken at 55 Jared Wilson, but I've done that a lot, and I wanted to show you guys someone new. And in this video, I'm trying to highlight less of their stats and more of the summary on them. So we're taking Seth McLaughlin here. And if you guys who have watched the channel know, I like taking teammates sometimes. And Jaden Roberts, to me, this is where he's projected. I'm not reaching on this one at all. This is right where he's projected to go, right guard for Alabama. We took the left guard for Alabama. Now we're taking the right guard, Jaden Roberts. Round 5, our own pick, 147. His strengths: road grader in the run game, consistently displaces defenders and creates lanes for backs. Anchor strength and pass pro, rarely gets bull rushed or driven back in the pocket. Important for the Bears. 6'5", 310 pounds. Positional flexibility, has taken snaps at both guard and tackle spots, so he can fill in like Matt Pryor does. He can fill in at tackle if someone gets hurt. High ceiling prospect with steep development curve over his college career. Mauler mentality in the trenches, seeks to finish blocks and play through the whistle. Iron Man durability, strung together 8 straight starts and played through minor nicks. High football IQ, picks up stunts and twists with ease and pass protection. Nasty streak and competitive fire, consistently racks up pancake blocks. So his summary: Roberts brings a power blocking skill set that translates well to gap and inside zone schemes at the next level. His ability to create movement at the point of attack will appeal to run-heavy offenses looking to establish dominance in the trenches. While raw in some aspects, Roberts' late-season performance against top-tier SEC competition hints at his potential to develop into a reliable NFL starter. Teams will need to weigh Roberts' limited starting experience against his clear physical tools and upward trajectory. His anchor strength and improving pass protection suggests he could become a solid interior presence with proper coaching. However, he'll need to enhance his lateral agility and technique refinement to maximize his effectiveness against NFL-caliber defenders. Now remember, your 5th round, your 6th round, your 7th round, these last day guys, this is where you might take more running backs, more linebackers, more positions where you can develop a player as well. So these are developmental spots, but taking Roberts, I think, could have very high upside in year 2 and 3 of his contract. He might not start day 1, especially behind Trey Smith. And we've already drafted on the other side in our 2nd rounder. So we're probably not going to start day 1, but he could have a lot of versatility, and he even could step out at tackle if someone gets hurt. I like having depth, and I think this is a really valuable pick at 5th round, 147th overall. So Robert's ceiling is as an NFL guard will largely depend on his ability to clean up technical flaws and adapt to the speed of the pro game. His power profile and development upside make him an intriguing mid-round option for teams willing to invest in his growth. So this is exactly what I wanted to highlight with these later round guys. So 5th round. Next, we're going to get to our 6th rounder, and Patrick Bryant. I think he's going to go higher than this. I think teams are going to realize the special player that he is. He's not even on NFL Draft Buzz right now. So he is on there, but he doesn't have any profile whatsoever. So I had to go to NFL Draft Network to get the profile on him. Pat Bryant is an outside wide receiver for Illinois' offense. He offered a tall frame with good length to make catches away from his frame. Bryant has good build-up and opened. A lot of you guys watching him at Illinois is probably have seen him before, especially as a blocker in the run and screen game on the perimeter. He will help spring his running back with strong, reliable blocks to the outside. Bryant offers reliable red zone with his ball skills and level of comfort with pre-snap motions. Excels against off coverage with defensive back giving a cushion. He is unimpeded at the snap, allowing him to explode upfield and open his stride. He projects as an outside receiver with development upside and an adequate starter in an NFL offense. The combination of height, speed, ball skills, and physicality will help him find success in the league. So I'm not going to read all of this one, but good hands is what you'll see from him. He's 6'3", 395 pounds. I don't think he has to start day 1, but he's a great developmental outside X receiver. I realize we just drafted Rome. I realize that Rome is the future, but to be able to have him as a special teams option and have him as a wide receiver 4 or 5 and develop him, this is what you take in the 6th round as a player that can have high upside for you. All right. I've mentioned Corey Kiner before, so we're going to have 4 7th-round picks. So remember, we traded with the Packers. We had 2 of our own, and we picked up 2 7th-rounders in that one, and that's the whole point of this video is I just want to highlight some guys who might not be your starters or your top of the top guys, But at running back, I've told you guys, this class is so deep, we can steal someone in the 7th round. And he's a workhorse back. Exceptional vision to identify and exploit gaps, particularly effective in outside zone schemes. You guys can read these ones. I'm not going to go over all these ones, actually. I feel like this is going on longer than I wanted it to, but some of you guys wanted to listen to this on your way to work or you wanted more in-depth. But I've got it on the screen, so you guys can check this out on the screen. These 7th rounders, they're developmental, but that's what all these are for. Productive college career with a 1,000-yard season against Power 5 competition. I will read his summary, though. So Kiner's tape shows a back with plus vision and short area quickness, tailor-made for zone schemes at the next level. His ability to press the line, make one cut, and get north and south will translate to Sunday football. However, his lack of home run speed and limited receiving chops cap his ceiling as a rotational piece rather than a bell cow back. In the ground game, Kiner's compact frame and low pad level help allow him to slip through arm tackles and fall forward consistently, and he does. He breaks a ton of tackles, especially if you look at his high school tape. He's a freak athlete. I mean, I think he was a 4-star, but he could have been a 5-star. He's invited to the Shrine Bowl. He's got the juice to hit the hole hard and to contact balance to push piles, but won't outrun many NFL defensive backs. His pass pro willingness is a positive, but he'll need to expand his route tree to stick as a third down option. Ultimately, Kiner profiles as a committee back who can provide early down punch and short yardage utility. His ball security and vision make him a reliable option, but he lacks the dynamic traits to be a feature back at the next level. Look for Kiner to carve out a role as a solid RB2 or RB3 in a backfield rotation, offering dependable yardage and occasional spark plays without shouldering the full workload. I think there's so much high upside to him, taking him in the 7th round where all these other high-value running backs will be taken off the board when we've got DeAndre Swift and we sign Najee Harris. I think that's the perfect backfield, honestly, with Corey Kiner there as well. I know we have Roschon Johnson. I know we have Ian Wheeler. Someone isn't going to make the cut. I understand that. Some will be on the practice squad, but it's nice to have that depth for once with the Bears. All right, next up, Mitchell Evans, tight end. We're going to pick up another tight end. As you know, we're losing Gerald Everett, and we're losing Mercedes Lewis. We picked up Juwan Johnson, who's more of a receiving. This is a big-bodied tight end. Mitchell Evans from tight end. He's going to play in the college football championship. Multi-role tight end, though. He's got strong hands, so he can catch, but that's not what he's known for. He's not the fastest, not the best route runner. So what they wrote as his summary is Mitchell Evans stands out as a high-caliber tight end prospect with the potential to make an immediate impact in the NFL level. His combination of size, reliable hands, and developing blocking skills, making a coveted target likely to come off the board on a day 2 of the draft. Now, most places you see him, he's going to be undrafted free agent 250, 260, pick overall. He could climb boards, but there's some really high-profile tight ends at the top of this draft, so I wouldn't bank on it. I'd say he's probably an early day 3 to mid day 3, could fall to round 7, and he fell in my draft, so I'm covering him here so you guys can see him. While he may not possess elite athleticism, Evans' production and football IQ suggests he could quickly develop into a starting caliber tight end. At the next level, Evans should thrive in offenses that emphasize tight end usage in both the passing and running game. His skill set aligns with the teams that employ multi-tight end sets and use play-action concepts. Evans has the tools to become a reliable target in the short to intermediate passing game and a solid contributor in the run game. With continued refinement of his route running and pass protection technique, Evans has the potential to outperform even the high draft status and become a cornerstone piece in an NFL offense. All right, our third lineman, Simeon Barrow Jr. from Miami. I think he could go a little bit higher too, but there are some weaknesses in his game. 6'3", 290 pounds. He would be a developmental 3-tech behind Jervon Dexter. Like I said, these round 7 guys aren't meant to be your guys that start. They're meant to be your guys you develop. So we're building some development here in our team. His scouting report summary, his run defense dominance stands out immediately. You can't teach the natural leverage and power at the point of attack. The pass rush limitations show up too clearly to ignore, though, which is why he's a late-round prospect, especially when you stack his pressure production against the testing numbers. Draft grade puts him solidly in a day 3 territory, which matches what the tape shows, a ready-made run defender who needs development rushing the passer. Added 2 blocked kicks this season, so you're getting a guy who can help on special teams while he develops. Watched him handle double teams better than his size suggests he should. That plus his motor and special teams impact give him a real value in the right rotation. Won't be a 3-down player early, but he's got the traits to develop if he can expand his pass rush toolkit. Bottom line, scheme-specific prospect who can contribute and defend or a defined role from day 1 with the upside to grow. He reminds me identically of Andrew Billings. Big Bill. Big Bill was a developmental guy. Now, he's not quite as big as Bill yet, but he will. I mean, he's not much different, though, honestly. And he could develop very easily into that. All right, that was our third round 7 pick. Now, our last one is going to be Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. We're going to take another offensive tackle. And this is what you're doing at this point. You're just taking darts at the dartboard, and you're trying to find a guy that can stick. So let me move this off so you can see. But I like that he's 6'7", and 322 pounds. So he's NFL sized right now. Kind of like a late round Braxton Jones that you can hopefully develop. So his summary, Crenshaw Dixon's extensive starting experience and positional versatility make him an intriguing prospect for NFL teams seeking offensive line depth. His size and length are NFL caliber, and his pass protection skills translate well into the next level. However, he may need time to adjust to the speed of the NFL edge rushers. Scheme-wise, Crenshaw Dixon fits best in a system that emphasizes power running and play-action passing, where his size and anchoring ability can be maximized. His potential as a swing tackle adds value, though he may initially project as a backup while he refines his technique against elite competition. While not likely to be an early round selection, Crenshaw Dixon's durability, size, and pass protection skills make him a solid mid to late round prospect with the potential to develop into a reliable starter over time. He is a Shrine Bowl invite. So right now he's projected as an undrafted free agent, but I can see him going late in the 7th round for a team wanting to take a flyer on him. So there's quite a few pieces there. Here's the mock draft that I did. You can see there I screenshot, copy and paste it. We traded down with the Packers, which we don't like to do, but we got 4 picks from this draft. They are overloaded in their late round draft picks, but we take a 2nd and a 3rd from them. It takes 2 to tango for them to jump from 55 to 41. They're giving up that 3rd rounder, and they give us a few more sweeteners for it, and the Bears robbed them of it. So we got Will Johnson, Tyler Booker, Jordan Burch, Donovan Ieraku, Seth McLaughlin, Jaden Roberts, teammates there, Tyler Booker and Jaden Roberts, Pat Bryant, Corey Kiner, Mitchell Evans, Simeon Barrow Jr., and Brandon Crenshaw Dixon. I actually really like this draft quite a bit. This is how it stacks up with our team. Let me move me a little bit smaller so you can see it here. So the contracts would be on the right, and I like that we have some depth and we have some developmental guys. So we've got some good starters here. Jaden Roberts and Trey Smith are huge. Coleman Shelton can start if Seth McLaughlin isn't ready. You still got Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright, but you got Brandon Crenshaw Dixon developing, and you still got Kieran Amagaji, who was always meant to be a developmental player as well. And then you've also got Jaden Roberts and Matt Pryor, who are very similar, that can fill in at tackle if need be. And then you still got Ricky Stromberg developing as well, and Bill Murray, who we're going to take and keep. Maybe he ends up on the practice squad after his injury last year. Maybe he makes the roster. We'll see what happens, but he's good to develop and keep playing. Then for the quarterback running back room, there's our guys. You can see the contracts over here on the right, but DeAndre Swift, Najee Harris, and then Corey Kiner with Roshan Johnson, Ian Wheeler. Maybe these guys were just on special teams, maybe back to the practice squad. We'd have to see what happens, but I like having depth in that running back room. All right, receivers, tight ends, and there's going to be a surprise coming here at the end. So then Pat Bryant, we re-signed Colin Johnson, and we signed Josh Palmer as our wide receiver 3. So you got DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Roma Dunze, and then Juwan Johnson is going to help out as well. Mitchell Evans to develop as well. I like this receiver and tight end room. Not too over heavy, but solid built with some top end guys. All right, to the defensive line, I think this is more realistic to a long-term approach here, because you've got guys like Jordan Burch, who can play out at defensive end for certain plays if you need to. He can come in at defensive tackle. He actually played defensive end in college, but I have him swinging here between the two and Simeon Barrow. Zach Pickens and Dominic Robinson, really the bottom of the barrel, round 7 guy, and 2 guys that just aren't panning out that can rotate and develop. You need more defensive ends than anything else because they rotate more in the game. But then you got Donovan Ieraku and Austin Booker to continue to develop in the same type of way. You could have DeMarcus Walker continue to start while you go there, but there's a lot of upside, a lot of development to the defensive line. But Milton Williams alone, combined with just more depth, helps this line significantly, and would be a significantly upgraded run defending team. One of the worst in the league right now. All right, our linebackers, we are going to take Cody Simon as an undrafted free agent. Plays for Ohio State, and he's kind of the core of their defense, but right now he's projected as an undrafted free agent. We're going to take him. Nothing else really changes right here for this group, and then the big change is going to be right here at our corners and safeties. Okay, because we drafted 4 best player available, we now have Jalen Johnson and Will Johnson starting 1-2 on each side of the ball. Okay, those are our lockdown corners. Now, we have no idea what's going to happen with Jaquan Brisker, but he has been very average, very middle of the pack. I like how he hits hard. I like Jaquan Brisker. I'm not knocking on him at all. I think there's a lot of upside to him. But with his concussions so far and him being out since October and who knows where the future is going to hold, Tyreek Stevenson would translate really well to be over and be a strong safety. I think so. You could even rotate him at free safety if you need to see where he fits. But he's a hard hitter, and he really is a smart player when he focuses. His problem is lack of focus, but he hits hard, and he can't stay hip to hip, which is why I don't love him as much as cornerback and why I would like to take Will Johnson. Will Johnson locks down that side. You've got Jalen Johnson on his extension. Will Johnson, there's no one that you can throw to in this defense at all. Terrell Smith's still a solid back. We've re-signed Jalen Jones. I like everything about this, and I like the ability to have Kevin Byard and Tyreek Stevenson be your starters as your safeties, and I think there's a lot of value to that. So that's where this best player value comes in. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this concept of reading all this stuff about the scouting summaries and the reports, if you like hearing a little bit more about these guys, because you're not going to do that on your own. If it's tedious, if you don't mind, because you're just going to bypass it anyways and go to the summary. Let me know if you like taking best player available, because this concept right here of taking boop, boop, boop. We're running through a lot of stuff right here. Whoa, right there. Will Johnson. I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that because we have to go trenches only, right? Well, right after that, we just went how many in a row? We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 in a row in the trenches, and then we got a couple of deep trench guys here at the end as well. So, and we hit it in free agency. We got Trey Smith. It's all going to come down to what happens in free agency. But I don't hate this draft at all because Will Johnson's so high on my board. If he fell, if the Jaguars didn't take him, who is kind of assumed right now is the team that's going to take Will Johnson, if they don't take him for whatever reason, whether Travis Hunter isn't taken before that and they want a combination of cornerback and wide receiver, or if the Jaguars decide they want to go with the defensive line, which they need help with as well, there's a chance he could fall to the Bears. And I wouldn't be upset with this at all, but let me know what you guys think, though. If this is something you think Ryan Poles would even be willing to do, if you're as high on Will Johnson as I am, or if it's just trenches only. We got to go trenches. But appreciate you guys tuning in. I do appreciate you guys being a part of this channel. Appreciate everything that goes through with this fan base. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Maybe this draft is the way that it happens. But appreciate you guys tuning in. If you haven't hit the like button, please do so. If you haven't subscribed by now, please do that as well. Big things coming. Big news coming right around the corner. We're going to have a new head coach soon. Then we're going to hit free agency. Then we're going to hit the draft. It's going to be a lot of fun. So appreciate you guys. Till next time, da Bears and bear down.